What will you do if you win the lottery? In almost every movie or television show, this is the exact moment the protagonist flips off their boss, buys a sports car, and moves to a tropical island. But what if I told you that in real life, you still might not be able to afford to quit? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving deep into the highly anticipated upcoming 2026 South Korean drama, The Ordinary Jackpot. Based on the hit web novel titled Lotto, First Place Winner Goes to Work Too, this 10-episode series is flipping the classic lottery winner trope completely on its head. Our main character wins over $1 billion, and his reaction is simply to go to work on Monday. Today, we are breaking down the plot, the brilliant psychological themes, who this show is perfect for, and which of your favorite earlier dramas share the same DNA. Let us get into it. Let us set the stage. Meet Gong Yoon-tae, played by the incredibly talented Lee Jun-hyuk. Yoon-tae is a sales team leader at a company called Hongseong International. He is the absolute definition of ordinary. He is honest, he is diligent, and he is deeply, profoundly burned out. His life is just an endless loop of boring work and draining social obligations. But one day, the universe finally throws him a bone. Yoon-tae buys a lottery ticket and hits the jackpot. The prize is 1.3 billion won. Now, to the average person, 1.3 billion won sounds like absolute freedom. It is nearly $1 million US. You would think he would immediately hand in his resignation letter, right? Wrong. And this is where the drama becomes a masterpiece of modern realism. Yoon-tae sits down and does the math. He looks at the real estate market in Seoul. He realizes that 1.3 billion won is barely enough to buy a decent apartment in the capital, let alone achieve lifelong, generational financial freedom. If he quits his job, blows through the money, and ends up broke, he is right back to square one. So he makes a radical decision. He does not quit, he keeps his job. But he changes everything else. He treats the 1.3 billion won not as a spending fund, but as psychological insurance. He now has a safety net, and that safety net changes the entire game. This is the core theme of The Ordinary Jackpot, and it is why this show is going to resonate with so many of us. It is a brilliant exploration of workplace power dynamics. Before the lottery, Yoon-tae was a classic corporate pushover. He took on extra work, tolerated toxic behavior, and feared losing his job. But once he has his financial safety net, his entire demeanor shifts. He still goes to work, but he stops people-pleasing. He sets strict boundaries. When his boss asks him to work overtime, he just says no. And he says it with a calm, unbothered smile, because he knows he does not actually need this job to survive. This creates incredible comedic tension. His coworkers are confused. His bosses are terrified because they cannot figure out what his angle is. Is he secretly the CEO's son? Is he about to report them to corporate? They do not realize he is just a guy who knows he has $1 billion in the bank. It is the ultimate evolution of quiet quitting. But instead of just doing the bare minimum out of spite, Yoon-tae is doing his job peacefully out of indifference. He is no longer emotionally invested in the corporate rat race. It is an incredibly cathartic watch for anyone who has ever felt trapped in a toxic job. Now, let us talk about who will actually love this show. If you are someone who enjoys slice-of-life stories, workplace comedies, or narratives about finding peace in your everyday life, this is tailor-made for you. You do not need to be a massive fan of high-stakes corporate thrillers or intense revenge plots to enjoy this. If you just want a show that feels like a warm hug after a long day at the office, and you love watching a protagonist confidently set boundaries, you are in the right place. It is perfect for viewers who want something lighthearted, relatable, and deeply comforting. And if you are wondering what else to watch while we wait for this to drop, let us talk about some earlier dramas you need to check out if you think you will like The Ordinary Jackpot. First up, if you love the realistic office dynamics but want something a bit more comedic, you have to watch Good Manager. It shares that same DNA of an ordinary guy navigating a ridiculous corporate world and turning the tables on his bosses. Second, if you are here for the healing, slice-of-life aspect of finding joy in the mundane, Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha is a must-watch. It has that exact same relaxing, feel-good vibe of a stressed city worker finding peace and changing their mindset. Finally, if you love the comedic timing and the sheer absurdity of a protagonist completely changing their personality and confusing everyone around them, you need to rewatch The Sound of Your Heart. It is a masterclass in situational comedy that will perfectly prepare you for Yoon T's new unbothered lifestyle. Let us quickly touch on the team bringing this to life. The series is directed by Yoon Young-bin, who previously directed the gritty 2021 film Tomb of the River. Seeing him pivot to a workplace comedy drama is a fascinating shift, and casting Lee Jun-hyuk as Gong Yoon-T is absolute perfection. Lee Jun-hyuk is a master at playing characters who are either deeply unhinged or incredibly stoic. Seeing him play an ordinary guy who is secretly harboring a massive, life-changing secret is going to be a treat. He is supported by a great ensemble cast including Seo Hyun-woo, Oh Dae-hwan, and Ok Ya-yeon, who will likely play the colorful coworkers reacting to Yoon T's new attitude. The Ordinary Jackpot is a 10-episode series. It is scheduled to premiere on the streaming platform TVing on September 10, 2026, before airing on the television network TVN every Monday and Tuesday. Because it is only 10 episodes, we can expect a tight, well-paced story without the usual 16-episode filler. Ultimately, The Ordinary Jackpot is not really about the money. It is about what the money represents: freedom, boundaries, and the power to just be yourself when you no longer have to fear the consequences. It asks the question, if you did not need the money, who would you be at work? It is grounded, it is funny, and it is going to make you look at your own bank account and your own boss in a very different way. But I want to hear from you. If you won 1.3 billion won, would you actually stay at your job, or are you out of there on day one? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more drama explainers and reviews, and ring the bell so you do not miss our full review when the drama actually drops in September. Until next time, keep watching.